Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Maku,
Hello guys, it's Kobayashi.
and today we're going to be discussing about the new season opener of Bleach, my favorite shonen anime. You want to go ahead and start it off for us, Kobayashi?
Yeah, so the very first scene we get to see Yu-Hawk, and it explains what he's been up to. So after 900 years of being confined, he regains his pulse. 90 years he regains his mind, and 9 years he regains his strength. And then it cuts to him just chuckling with his beautiful mustache.
A lot of people say it looks very grungy, but hey, that guy is sick to me.
And then the next scene, it cuts to Mayuri and his subordinates, and they're talking about like a major issue that's happening at the Soul Society.
Yeah, supposedly there's a lot of people disappearing, and they're not understanding why. So what they're figuring out right now is they're looking at a map to figure out where all these people are disappearing from, so then that way they can figure out where they're disappearing from and pinpoint that location.
Yeah, but Mayuri, he has a slight clue of what's happening.
So moving on to the next scene, they actually go back to the overworld, and there's two new Shinigamis that were introduced. They were, I believe, from Squad 13 it was?
Squad 13, yes.
Yeah, so one of them is extremely cowardice, and the other one is very bold and really wants to push out.
So the bold person is a girl, and the cowardice is a guy.
Yeah,
And essentially, the bold person just wants to make a name of herself to, rise up the ranks.
Yeah.
And the cowardice guy, he's just saying, but I heard this town is very hollow heavy, and this town is very dangerous. I heard it also has a really strong substitute Shinigami, so there's no need for us, right? And then the girl is like, no, what are you talking about? What do you mean? This is our chance.
As a guy, as I stated beforehand, he's very cowardice, so he ends up finding this Shinigami this hollow that he ends up finding, which is not really strong, to be quite honest, but he ends up being scared and is getting chased throughout the hallways. But I believe he got onto the roof, and that's where he met that's where he met the brave girl.
Mm-hmm. And then he just sees her body just on the floor, blood all over the place. And then he's actually mustered up some courage, and then he holds his sword, but then he gets attacked from behind.
Yeah.
Because at this time, he's surrounded by like 5 giant hollows.
But
go ahead.
Yeah. But to none of our surprise, that's when we'll call it 3. We'll say 4. Nah, we'll say 3. 3 of our heroes. It was it was actually 4. My bad. So it was Ichigo, Uryu, Chad, and Orihime. You'll first get reintroduced to Orihime as she ends up healing the coward guy, because he ended up getting punctured from the back by a hollow, and then Orihime ends up healing the
girl.
Yeah, the girl. And so that's when Chad, the man, the myth, the legend, ends up punching him with, what's his favorite move, Kobayashi?
Yeah, no, so Chad hits us with his La Muerte, El Diablo. And then it cuts down to Uryu. He's saying some German stuff, shoots his arrows, boom. And then it goes to Ichigo. Ichigo is like, oh no, first the cowardice guy, he was about to get hit again, and the Ichigo comes out of nowhere, stops the guy with very easily.
What are you doing? Stop.
Yeah, and this dude Ichigo, he just overkills them. He's like, Ichigo goes Bankai, and then he does
the Getsuka Tensha. As we all know, that's his favorite move to do. And a lot of Soul Reapers, they like doing it too, but his is very cool to see. So he ends up overdoing it just to kill this lowly hollow. But that's when he gets surrounded by so many more hollows, and it's just a really cool scene. It just captures our 4 heroes really just united together. So then it cuts to the next scene. You want to explain that part?
Yeah, next scene, the cowardly guy, he wakes up, and then he's like, wait, what's happening? And then Ichigo explains to him he's been knocked out for 2 days. And he say, Orihime, bring some bread. And then, yeah, that's it. But then while they're trying to introduce themselves, some unknown character at this time, he pulls up. He's like, oh, allow me to introduce myself.
Yeah, and Ichigo's like, no. How about you get off my bed first, and then you introduce yourself?
Yeah, and then the guy, he's like, nah, I'll say my name. And then Ichigo literally kicks him out of the house.
Yeah, he just hits him with the Spartan kick off of 300 and ends up booting him out, and he just ends up chasing him like, bro, what are you on about? So he ends up chasing him, and then it cuts to this next scene, which is actually very important.
So then it cuts back to the Soul Society, and we get to see like intruders invading the Squad 1's like home base, and then we get to see Yamamoto, and we see invaders going up to Yamamoto, and they're like, wow, you have no security. He's like, I don't need security because I am here.
Yeah, he's him.
And then basically the intruders are declaring war, and I don't know at this point, but I'm pretty sure they did. They were Quincy's, right?
Yeah, it was very clear as day because they ended up killing one of the, I believe it was
his lieutenant.
Yeah, his lieutenant.
Well, I wouldn't say kill. Did they kill him?
No, they killed him.
They killed him?
Yeah,
they killed him like that? Damn, that's his lieutenant, by the way. His
Yeah.
lieutenant's been with him over 1,000 years.
Yeah, so they ended up assassinating him because it was just a really, really big arrow that ended up just piercing him.
Yeah, and then they declared war. Yamamoto tried to, like, he tried to do something, but...
He tried to prevent them from escaping, but they ended up escaping throughout the shadow, which is actually a new way of traveling, which is we haven't seen before.
Quincy's,
yeah,
like I say, Germans.
Nice.
And then moving back, oh no. And then it comes back to Ichigo, and he's like, I wouldn't say fighting, but he's just like squaring up with the intruder guy. And then first Uryu called him in a wrong car, but the guy took heavily offense to it. He's like, me in a wrong car. And then he's like, really?
Well, he kind of came to the conclusion because Orihime actually ended up saying, oh, he has a hollow mask too, he might be in a wrong car. But Ichigo just said, oh, you might be right, so I'll ask him. So he just abruptly just asked him, hey, you in a wrong car? And he, like Kobayashi was stating, he got highly offended by that and brought out his Quincy weapon, and Ichigo ended up seeing his like tag or whatever.
Yeah, the cross like that
every Quincy has
carries. So the Quincy at the time, he was taunting Ichigo, basically telling him to go to his Bankai form. Ichigo is well aware that he's like, this is weird, but he still plays into his hand. So he goes into Bankai form. And then the guy pulls out this device where it can steal the Shinigami's Bankai. But Ichigo's exposure pressure is too much where it breaks the device. And then essentially, like, he, like, really hurted him.
Yeah, he ended up hurting him, and he ended up retreating.
Yeah, he ended up retreating with the same shadow.
With the same shadow clone, like shadow clone, or shadow, like, traveling device.
Essentially, yeah. And then we get to see the guy who attacked Ichigo, the people that talked to Yamamoto. But the guy who was talking to Ichigo, he was bowing down. And then Yamamoto people, they're like, why are you bowing down? What, you're bowing down to me? And then they're just arguing a little bit. He's like, no, you idiot. Start bowing down. And the guy keeps on talking. And next thing you know, he gets, the guy who's talking to the guy who's getting bound down gets his arm cut off by Yu-Hawk.
But instantaneously, he had no clue his arm was cut off. And the Quincy was just extremely he's overpowered.
And then Yu-Hawk, he's basically saying, you guys know I don't like you guys to argue right in front of me. Because Yu-Hawk, he's all about like camaraderie,
camaraderie, peace, a very leader-like trait. Mm-hmm. So that's why he likes peace, at least between his comrades, right?
Yeah, between his comrades, obviously.
Yeah, he started a whole war.
And his mustache. But that pretty much is the whole episode, I believe.
Yeah, like I've said in most videos that start off with one episode, these are just introduction episodes, so we'll get to see a lot more of what happens and what entails to this story. But in any case, if you guys have any other anime you would like us to talk about, please let us know in the comments down below. And as always, my name is Maku.
It's Kobayashi.
And thank you.